Welcome to the Ascend Your Success podcast. Whether you're just starting out or are a veteran looking to grow your business, you're in the right place. Join us to learn how to achieve financial freedom while working and living life on your own terms. Hear valuable insights, strategies, and interviews with successful entrepreneurs. Get ready to achieve the success you've always dreamed of. Ready? Let's go.
What's going on, guys? My name is Wyatt Reed, and this is the Ascend Your Success podcast. And today I get to interview my friend Chris Logan, and he's not only going to teach us how to wholesale, but he's going to teach us how to wholesale from anywhere. Very popular topic. A lot of my friends in the industry do it, and everybody wants to know how to do it. It seems like, right? So tell us a little bit about yourself before we get rolling in it.
Yeah, 100%. So my name's Chris. By the way, thanks for the introduction. That's awesome. And I'm so blessed to be here and to be sharing value with your audience. I think that's amazing. You know, when I first started getting into real estate, I really didn't know where to turn, right? I really didn't know how I wanted to make money in real estate, but I knew I wanted to make money in real estate. I think the first real estate book that I ever got was Dean Graziosi from Calling Into His Hotline when I was sitting on my couch watching his infomercials in college. And then I eventually read Rich Dad, Poor Dad and, went to a Robert Kiyosaki event. He wasn't there, obviously. And they talked about a lot of different types of strategies. And the one that really stuck with me was wholesaling. When they shared that you could basically take a piece of paper and flip it for tens of thousands of dollars. You didn't need to own the property, money out of your pocket, doesn't matter if you had your credit or not. I was just like, man, that makes sense.
I love it, man. So you started off wholesaling.
Yeah, started off wholesaling. And then we got into some flips. And then I realized I hate flipping because I don't like managing contractors. It's like managing a bunch of kids. Then from there, we just doubled down on wholesaling, went all in. 2 years before COVID, we switched to our virtual model to now we're wholesaling houses from home anywhere in the country. We were ahead of the curve on that. There was a lot of people when COVID hit, a lot of real estate investors, they had no idea what they were going to do because sellers didn't want them to come in their homes. They couldn't drive to their properties because there was a lockdown, right? And they just didn't know what to do. And so COVID actually was one of our best years ever since we made the switch to virtual 2 years ahead of time.
Dude, that's awesome. It's just so you know, my entire audience knows I absolutely hate flips. So I'm 100% on board with you. We align 100% with that. So what is, for the guys who don't know, what is wholesaling first and foremost?
Yeah, so wholesaling works like this. Let's say you have a seller that's selling a property owner that wants to sell their home, right? And ideally, it's the worst house in the best neighborhood. You picture it like that, right? They want to sell the property. You talk to them through marketing, and now they say, hey, I'd be willing to sell my house for $60,000. And you say yes, because you know that you have a cash buyer, a relationship with an investor that wants to buy houses in that neighborhood for $80,000. So basically, you just sell your contract with the seller to that investor, and you make the difference between $60,000 and $80,000 when the property closes, which is typically within 2 to 4 weeks. And so you walk away with a check of $20,000.
Yeah, I love it, man. You don't have to buy the house. You don't have to be responsible for it. You just flipping paper, essentially, right?
Exactly. And with our model, the way that we switch to, you can do this from home multiple times a month anywhere in the country.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, we definitely need to talk about that. Let's talk about the lead generation first. So when you were first tell us a little bit about how, when you were first getting started, what you were doing for lead generation versus how that evolved and what you're doing now.
Yeah, so I did everything wrong when I first started, right? So what I did is, I went and printed up a whole bunch of flyers at Office Depot and Kinko's, and I was beating the streets, like walking up and down neighborhood streets, like putting flyers on doors, getting yelled at by homeowners. I tried the door knocking thing, and that just never really stuck with me. And then we decided to switch to direct mail. Direct mail, we had no guidance on that, though. We had no idea how many pieces you have to send, like most people don't, to get responses. And so we were kind of struggling there for a while. And then we found bandit signs, and bandit signs worked out really well for us. These are signs that you put on the side of the road. It says the sketchy "We Buy Houses" on there with a weird phone number to call. People call and, believe it or not, sell their house. That was a big mindset shift for me. But things really didn't take off for us until we switched to the core marketing method that we do now, which is cold calling.
That's different, because I hear a lot of people talking about how much they hate cold calling. Tell us a little bit about that. I'm sure you're not on the phone calling right now, but do you, when you first started, you were the one picking up the phone, dialing? You tell us about how all that works.
Yeah, sure. So fast forward to our journey a little bit. We really scaled up the direct mail. We were doing like 30,000 pieces a month, and we were just struggling with like our return on our investment. So we were spending $1. It looked like we were getting back $3, but after you factor in like people answering the phones and stuff like that, we weren't really making money to like move the needle. We wanted to. So I was like, you know what? Every single sales job that I've ever had in the past, I would pick up the phone and call people to generate leads. What if we did that here in real estate? Right. And of course, you have these limiting beliefs that no one's going to want to sell their house over the phone. You know, you're just going to get a bunch of no's. It's not going to work. Nobody's doing this right now. But I was like, you know what? We're just going to do it anyway. Right. And so I did it. And I want to say I did it myself for between 3 and 6 months, locked up a bunch of contracts over the phone. And we were like, man, there's something to this. But I wanted to do it myself before I handed it off to somebody else because I needed to have proof of concept and I needed to see that I could do it so I could train somebody else how to do it.
That's a great nugget, man. I think maybe we were going in the same place. A lot of people want to go ahead. And it's like, you don't even know how to sell yourself. You can't train them. So
I see people in Facebook groups talking like, I'm thinking about hiring a VA. I don't want to cold call myself. And I'm just like, gosh, you're just going to lose so much money. Don't do that. So what we did is I cold called myself, got to handle the process. Then we scaled up a team, had 10 cold callers dialing for us, bringing us tons of leads and deals. And then we grew it from there and eventually hired our best cold caller. So he was our first one. We hired our best cold caller to be our call center manager. And now we have a call center in Bangladesh.
Dude, that's crazy. That's so crazy. That's awesome, though. Went from the postcards to the cold calling, the man signs, the cold calling. And that's your main source today. Do you still do the postcards too, or is it just 100% cold calling?
So we'll do targeted postcard mailing. Like what we'll do, and this is kind of a gold bomb for people on the podcast that are doing mail and just kind of frustrated with it, right? What we did is we actually slimmed down our mail to focus on the areas that we were getting the highest assignment fees. So we isolated all the zip codes where we're making $20,000 a month, $20,000 or more on an assignment fee. And basically we cut out all the other zip codes and we said, this is the only zip codes we're going to do direct mail with. Man. And then everything else comes from cold calling. So now we get a call from direct mail. You know, it's going to be a high value deal because the pattern is we do very well in those areas.
That's awesome. You got me wanting to change up now. So how do you decide what market? So let's change to the virtual. You obviously started. Yeah. Let's take it virtual now. How do you now decide what market to go to?
Great. This is a great question. A lot of people ask me this, and it's very simple. We have a very simple 2-step process that we use to pick a market anywhere in the country, right? So we can tell where we should start. So the first step is you want to go to Google and you want to type in the area that you're looking into, the area you're considering. Most people have an area that they're thinking about already. Maybe their family lives there. Maybe they used to live there as a kid and they just want to see if it's a good area. So you want to go to Google and you want to type in whatever county that is, population. And so what we find is you want to have a minimum of 250,000 people there in that area to be considered checkbox number 1, right? What we found is if the population is less than 250,000, you're going to be looking at more of like a rural area. It's going to be easy to get properties under contract, harder to sell them though, because not many cash buyers out there. And you're just not going to make very much per deal. So if the area is 250,000 minimum, that's checkbox number 1. Checkbox number 2 is going to Google again. Again, we're using free tools so far. You're going to type in the area, so that county, median home price. Now, the median home price is, if you don't know what that is, for the listeners that don't know what that is, if you picture houses on a timeline, right? You have the $50,000 cheap house on the left, and you have the multi-million-dollar house on the right. The median home price is the one in the middle, or the most popular type of home that's bought. It's the one that everybody wants. So what we look for is for that to be a minimum of $200,000, and we don't really like to go over $450,000. And what we find is if you have that little mix of 250,000 population, minimum $200,000 median home price, we found that is the perfect combination to be able to make massive assignment fees and be able to do consistent deals every single month.
Are you guys staying up to date on all the laws and stuff? Like, are you moving out of certain markets? Are there markets that these guys don't need to even try to get into? So we actually stay on top of this. We create a spreadsheet for our team and our clients, and basically we're up to date on all the laws and everything like that as far as what's taking place in all the different states.
But, one of the states that has a lot of controversy right now is South Carolina. South Carolina, a lot of people are like, oh, you can't wholesale houses in South Carolina. But the thing is, that couldn't be further from the truth. People who say that are actually not reading the law. Basically, if you are going to be making a decision in your business, one of the biggest things that I recommend is that you look into the law yourself, maybe even call a local attorney before you make any decisions, because some of the stuff you see on social media, shocker, right, is not exactly accurate, right? Mm-hmm. So in South Carolina, one of the big things is, it's the last line in the bill that saved us, and it says wholesaling does not refer to the assigning or offering to assign a contractual right to purchase residential real estate, right? So that's our get out of jail free card. So as long as you're not advertising that you're selling a property and you are selling your contract, then you should be good to go. But again, I'm not an attorney. That's not legal advice. Definitely do your own due diligence.
100%, man. Absolutely. Yeah. I love that. Let's switch over to the selling side then, the disposition side. How are you finding buyers for these properties?
Yeah. So one of our best sources of buyers, believe it or not, is actually Facebook groups, right? So Facebook groups are an amazing source of buyers. So many people discount Facebook groups. They're like, oh, you can't find real buyers in Facebook groups and all that. But here's the thing. Facebook groups, we've moved a ton of deals through there. It's free. And again, it's a great way to build your buyers list very quickly. And one of the things that we do to find buyers is if you go to a Facebook group. So what we tell all our coaching clients is to go ahead and join all the local Facebook groups in the area that you're looking to join, right? So you join all those Facebook groups once you pick an area. And then what you want to do is you want to look for the sale posts, right? So the posts where wholesalers are actually selling deals, and you want to look at the comments there. You're going to see a lot of people saying, I'm a buyer, I'm a buyer, I'm a buyer. Then you just reach out, build a relationship with these people. Are you still buying? Or was that like a one-off purchase for you? And they say, yes, great. Let me get you added to our buyers list. We have a lot of properties we're going to be sending out, and we'd love to get those in front of serious investors like yourself. Boom. But before you do any of that, it's very important that you find out if these people are one of three types of contacts. The first type of contact is a cash buyer, which obviously everybody loves, right? But the second one is one that not many people work with, not many wholesalers, because they view them as competition, but it couldn't be further from the truth. And that is other wholesalers. Other wholesalers can get more eyeballs in your deals than anything else, right? And so they're going to come across buyers that you don't even have access to. So we like having cash buyers, wholesalers, and then the third contact is realtors. So we'll have cash buyers, wholesalers, and realtors. We have realtors that bring buyers for our deals that live out of the country, and we can never come into contact with these buyers. And as a wholesaler, it's all about getting as many eyeballs on your deals as possible. And so with those three contacts, that's what we do.
Yeah, man, 100%. I actually, there's a golden nugget in there, and one of my students actually taught me this. So take that for what it's worth. You can go into these Facebook groups, and there's a search box, and all you have to do is type in assignment or assignee, and it'll bring up all of those posts for you. You don't have to just scroll through all the posts, right? You can just bring up those specific posts that you need.
That's amazing. I didn't think about searching for that. We've searched for like at Gmail. We used to be able to search for the at sign, and then they took that functionality away. So now we're like at Gmail, but that's even better. So we'll definitely have to adjust that.
Heck yeah, man! It's awesome what you learn by teaching, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, sometimes like as coaches, we think like really complex, right? But then our students come in, they're like, hey, what about this simple thing? You're like, oh my gosh, it's an amazing idea.
I love it. All right. Well, let me ask you this. I like to understand people's mindset. So a lot of times we get into real estate in the beginning for that long-term generational wealth, the passive cash flow, stuff like that. Are you buying holds or rentals or anything? Or are you just straight wholesaling and you're cash flowing a business essentially?
So for the longest time, we straight up focused just on wholesaling, but we started building our portfolio. We recently invested in like 355 units in Tennessee. And so we're starting to really step out and expand and grow our portfolio even more, mainly focusing on single family, small multifamily, and investing in larger projects. But we use solely wholesaling to get out of the 9 to 5 and break free from our corporate jobs. So
absolutely. Where are you based out of?
Tampa Bay, Florida.
Oh man. So that was going to be my next question. Are you buying buy and holds virtually as well. So that's awesome, man. Yeah. I live in Tennessee. So what part of Tennessee did you buy in?
It was Murfreesboro.
Man, yeah.
It was an interesting name.
That's where my wife is from. So that's awesome, man. Heck yeah.
Very
I know
cool.
that place very well. Absolutely.
Growing city. So.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, for sure. Dude, I love it. So moving forward, you obviously coach, right? You have students and things like that. We're coming up on time now. Talk about what it looks like. This looks like.
Sure. Yeah. So basically what I typically find, the people that I can help the most are people they're usually in like a 9-to-5 job, and they've always looked at different ways to get started in real estate, but they've just never really been able to crack the code, right? They've tried other strategies or wholesaling, and they just haven't been able to have success or get their first deal. What we do is we really simplify everything down, make it very clear. We cut out all the fluff and literally create a step-by-step process so they know what to do. Of A plus B equals C, and they can take steps daily to reach the goal they have set. So I'm all about being simple and keeping and having them do massive, imperfect, immediate action. That's what it's all about for me. And so that's really what it's like. And at the end of the day, they come in, they pick their market. We show them build their buyers list first. Our FYBF method. So usually wholesalers say get your deal first, you'll be able to sell it. But most people don't know what a good deal looks like anyway. And so how can they sell it, right? So what we do is we have them build their buyers list first. What their buyers want, then they can go out and find what they want and bring it to them, and it makes the whole thing so much easier. So we do things a little different.
Heck yeah, dude. I love it. That's exactly if someone comes in and wants to learn wholesaling, that's one thing that I do. I'm glad you said that. That's a huge golden nugget is work backwards. Like I had a student one time. He was getting so many properties under contract, but he was having such a hard time selling them. And I was like, okay, well, just hit the brakes real quick. Like start finding some buyers in the area. He found about 10 good, solid buyers, and now he's just spitting them to him like crazy. So that's a perfect strategy, man. Absolutely. So I like how you said that too, that massive imperfect action. It always sparks something in me, right? Because I hear it all the time from our mentor. It's so important to have a mentor.
So important.
That's what our coach tells us all the time is take massive imperfect action. So if there's anybody out here listening today, you need to be taking massive action. We're not telling you to do anything we haven't done. Like you can try it yourself. You can go through all the failures. You can spend all the money yourself and try to make it work by yourself. But I literally just shot a video that was talking about how a mentor is like a freaking slingshot, man. I was not able to do it myself. And then in half the time that I tried it by myself, after I hired my first mentor, I had 2 properties under contract. So we're not telling you anything we wouldn't do ourselves. We will always have mentors. We will always be students, because that's what it's going to take to get to the next level and continue to grow.
100%. Too many people look at the upfront cost. They're like, oh, I don't want to invest in a mentor because it's too expensive. But you know what's even more expensive? Making a mistake, trying to figure it out on your own, and all that time that you're going to waste when you could have just gotten started with a coach and, gotten the results. Like, people don't value their time at all. They're like, oh, I'll do it on my own. Okay, well, what if it takes you a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years? Where do you cut it off and say, okay, that's the line? So why not just avoid all that? Lock arms with someone who's been where you want to go, who's living the life you want to live, and be coachable so they can lead you there. So much easier. So much easier.
Absolutely, man. Well, how can people get a hold of you, man?
Yeah. So what I recommend is following me on socials. Facebook is the main platform I'm on. And my handle on there is Chris Logan, REI, CHRIS, Logan, LOGAN, REI, like real estate investor. And that's the best way to connect with me.
Dude, I love it, man. Thank you so much for being a part of this. I know time always flies so quick on here, but hopefully we can have you back on and we can talk more about everything else that you've got going on, man. I love it.
Absolutely. Thanks, Wyatt. I really appreciate it, man. It's been fun today, and I look forward to coming back again.
Thanks, brother. See you.
Yep.
Hey, guys, if you heard something that you like, whatever platform that you're listening to this on, like it, share it, download it, do whatever you can on whatever platform it is. We would really appreciate it. And if you want to learn how we do what we do, go to ascendyoursuccess.com, fill out the application, and I'll reach out to you personally and we'll talk one-on-one and see if we're a good fit for you, if you're a good fit for us. And either way, let's just take some massive imperfect action today. All right. You guys have a great time.